They say dogs don't understand time, that we live only in the present moment, unburdened by yesterday or tomorrow. But I'm here to tell you that's not true, because I counted every single day, 147 of them, each one longer than the last, each one in this place that smelled like death and tasted like betrayal. My name is Lucky, though I'll be honest, for most of this story, I didn't feel very lucky at all. This is the story of how I learned what abandonment really means, how I discovered what I was capable of when survival was the only option, and most importantly, how I learned that some promises, against all odds, are kept. But before any of that, before the hope and the miracle, there was day one, the day my world ended. I remember that morning with crystal clarity. Every detail. The car ride was different from the start. Usually when the car started, it meant the park or the vet. Maybe a trip to the pet store where I'd get a new toy. But this time, the energy was wrong. Tense. Nobody talked. Nobody looked at me. We drove for what felt like forever. Past the familiar streets. Past the park where I'd spent so many happy afternoons. Further and further, until there was nothing familiar left. Just highway, then dirt roads, then this wasteland. When the car finally stopped, I looked out the window and saw mountains, but not mountains of earth and stone, mountains of garbage, trash piled so high it blocked out the horizon. The smell hit me even through the closed windows. Rotten food, chemicals, things I couldn't identify and didn't want to. The door opened. I jumped out, excited despite everything. Maybe this was an adventure? Maybe we were going exploring? I'd always loved exploring. But then I heard it, the sound that changed everything. The car door slamming shut, the engine starting, and when I turned around, the car was moving. Away from me, away. I ran after it. Of course I ran, barking, calling them back. My paws kicking up dust from the dirt road. The car didn't slow down, didn't even hesitate. I ran until my lungs burned, until my legs gave out, until the car was just a dot on the horizon. And then nothing. I walked back to the spot where they'd let me out, right there at the edge of the dump. And I sat, and I waited. They'd be back, I told myself. They forgot something. They made a mistake. They wouldn't just leave me, would they? Hours passed. The sun climbed to its peak, beat down mercilessly, then started its descent. Cars and trucks came and went on the main road. Each time headlights appeared, my heart would jump. This is it. They're back. But vehicle after vehicle passed by without slowing, without seeing me, without caring. As the sun started to set, painting the garbage mountains in shades of orange and purple, something inside me broke. Not my body. I was young, maybe 2 years old, still strong and healthy. But something deeper, trust maybe, or faith, or just the fundamental belief that I mattered to someone, that I was worth coming back for. I stood up. My legs were stiff from sitting so long, and I walked into the dump, not because I wanted to, but because night was falling, and I had nowhere else to go. This was my home now, whether I liked it or not. You don't know what darkness really is until you've spent a night alone in a place that wants you dead. And make no mistake, this dump wanted me dead. It was actively hostile. Every shadow concealed a threat. Every sound promised danger. The nocturnal residents came out as the light faded. Rats, not the small ones you might see in a city alley. These were huge, the size of cats, with teeth like razors and eyes that reflected red in the darkness. They moved in packs, chittering to each other, coordinating their scavenging like a military operation. I heard other dogs too, wild ones, feral. They'd been born here, or had lived here so long they'd forgotten they were ever anything else. Their howls carried across the trash mountains. Not communication, not pack calls, just expressions of misery, of madness. I wondered how long it would take before I sounded like that. I'd always slept in a soft bed before, memory foam actually, with my favorite blanket. The room temperature controlled, the sound of breathing nearby, human breathing, that steady rhythm that told me I was safe. I was protected. I belonged somewhere. But that first night in the dump, I had none of that. I had cold ground, sharp objects, fear. I found a torn piece of cardboard under a rusted shopping cart. It wasn't much. It was barely anything, but it was flat, and it was dry, and it was something. I dragged it to a spot between two piles of construction debris where the wind wasn't quite so harsh. This would be my bed, my home, my entire world. I don't think I slept at all that first night. Every sound made me jump. Every movement in my peripheral vision sent my heart racing. Around midnight, I heard fighting. Violent, vicious fighting between two of the feral dogs. The sounds they made, I'd never heard anything like it. Rage and desperation combined into something that barely sounded canine anymore. Around 2 in the morning, the sky opened up. It didn't start with warning drops. It just unleashed. A storm like I'd never experienced. The kind of rain that doesn't fall so much as attack. Within seconds, I was soaked. My cardboard bed dissolved into mush. Water streamed off the trash piles, carrying with it a toxic soup of chemicals and rot. I huddled against the shopping cart, trying to find any protection from the downpour. There was none. The rain found every angle, every opening. It soaked through my fur to my skin, chilling me to the bone. My teeth chattered. My whole body shook. And I realized something in that moment. This was a test. Nature was testing me. The dump was testing me. And I had a choice. Give up or survive. I chose survival. I stood up, rain pouring over me, and I looked around with new eyes. Not the eyes of a pet looking for comfort. The eyes of a survivor looking for advantage. There, about 30 yards away, a piece of corrugated metal roofing partially collapsed over some old furniture. Shelter. I ran through the storm, slipping in mud, cutting my paw on broken glass. Pain I barely registered in my desperation. I crawled under that metal roof and found dry ground. It was still cold and still smelled terrible, but it was dry. I shook off as much water as I could and collapsed. That's when I learned my first real lesson about survival. You can't control what happens to you. The rain, the abandonment, the fear, these things just are. They don't care about fairness or justice or how much you've already suffered. But you can control what you do next, how you respond, whether you give up or keep going. And lying there under that metal roof, listening to the rain drum above me, I made a decision. I would keep going, at least for tonight. Day 2. I woke up to a sensation I'd never experienced before. Real hunger. Not the "I'm a bit peckish before dinner" hunger. The kind that makes your stomach feel like it's trying to digest itself. The kind that makes you understand why animals do desperate things. I'd never had to find my own food before. My meals had always appeared in a bowl. Same time every day. Measured portions. Sometimes I'd even been picky about it. What I wouldn't give for that bowl now. Any flavor, any amount. The dump was a maze of waste. Residential garbage mixed with commercial waste. I learned to follow my nose, letting instinct guide me to anything that might be edible. A half-eaten sandwich, green with mold. I ate it. Chicken bones, splintered and dangerous. I carefully gnawed the scraps. A pizza crust that had been someone's trash for who knows how long. Tasted like a feast. By day 3, I had started to understand the rhythm of this place. The dump had its own ecosystem, its own rules, its own schedule. Garbage trucks arrived every morning around 6 a.m. That's when the fresh loads came in. Fresh being a relative term, but it was recent garbage. Better odds of finding actual food instead of just packaging and waste. But I had to be fast, and I had to be careful, because I wasn't the only one who knew the schedule. The rats knew, the feral dogs knew, even the birds knew. Massive crows and gulls that would swarm a fresh pile like a black cloud. Competition was fierce, and I was the new guy, the weak one, the one who didn't know the rules yet. I learned to avoid certain areas quickly. The burning zones. The smoke was toxic, made my eyes water and my lungs burn. The compacting area was even worse. Massive machines. I watched in horror one day as a feral dog, too focused on a piece of food, didn't hear the machine starting up. The sound it made, I still hear it sometimes in nightmares. I learned to stay far away from those machines. By day 7, I'd established my first real territory. A corner near what I learned was Sector 3, where the residential waste went. I found an old refrigerator, doors removed, lying on its side. It became my den, kept me dry when it rained. It hid me from the feral dogs. It was cramped and smelled awful, but it was mine. I started finding small treasures. A plastic tarp for extra waterproofing. A relatively clean towel that became a blanket. Even a toy, an old tennis ball, split and muddy, but still recognizable. I kept it in my den. Didn't play with it, just kept it. A reminder that somewhere dogs had owners. At night, when the dump finally quieted down, and I'd curl up in my refrigerator den, I'd think about my old life. The memories were still fresh. The soft bed, the regular meals, the voice that would call me good boy. All of it felt like it had happened to a different dog, a luckier dog. But that dog was gone, and I had to be someone new, someone harder, someone who could survive in a place that showed no mercy. 2 weeks in the dump, and I'd already changed more than I'd changed in my entire life before. The question was, how much more would I have to change before this was over? If it ever ended? Humans think dogs are simple creatures, Wake up, eat, play, sleep, repeat. And maybe when we're pets, when we're safe and fed and loved, we can be that simple. But when survival is on the line, when every day is a test of whether you'll make it to tomorrow, we're more complex than you'd ever imagine. I developed systems, routines, strategies, because chaos kills you in a place like this. Randomness means going hungry, getting hurt, or worse. So I created order where none existed. I became my own pack leader, my own survival expert, my own everything. 5:30 a.m., wake up before the trucks arrive. This was crucial. The early bird doesn't just get the worm in a dump. It gets to live another day. I'd shake off the night's stiffness, do a quick patrol of my immediate area to make sure nothing had changed. Nothing new had arrived that could be dangerous. 6 a.m., the trucks start coming. I learned to position myself upwind so I could smell what was being dumped before I saw it. Bread, meat, rotting vegetables. My nose became my most valuable tool. I could detect protein from 50 yards away, could smell when food had gone from edible to dangerous, could even smell when other dogs had marked territory I needed to avoid. 8 a.m. water. This was always the hardest part. The dump had water technically, puddles, drainage from the trash piles, but most of it was toxic. I found a broken pipe in Sector 5 that leaked relatively clean water. Not safe by human standards, probably, but cleaner than drinking from puddles mixed with battery acid and medical waste. I'd make the trek there every morning, drink my fill, sometimes even wash my paws if I'd stepped in something particularly nasty. Midday, this is when I'd rest. The heat in that dump was unbelievable during summer days. The metal and dark garbage absorbed the sun until the whole place felt like an oven. I learned quickly that moving around in that heat was stupid. Waste of energy, waste of water. So I'd find shade under my fridge den or under a larger piece of debris and I'd wait it out. That's when the loneliness hit hardest. In the quiet, in the heat, when there was nothing to do but think. I'd remember the couch I used to sleep on, the air conditioning, the sound of a TV in the background, voices, laughter, life happening around me. Here, the only sounds were the buzzing of flies and the occasional cry of a bird. It was in those moments I'd wonder, was I going to die here? Would this dump be the last thing I ever knew? But then the heat would break. The afternoon would come, and there was work to do, because survival doesn't pause for existential crises. For PM evening scavenge, the trucks would make a second round sometimes. Plus, the temperature dropped enough to make moving around feasible again. I'd do another sweep of my territory, looking for anything the rats might have uncovered, anything the gulls might have dropped. You'd be surprised what you can find if you're persistent. Half a hamburger still in its wrapper. French fries that were only slightly moldy. Once, an entire unopened bag of chips that someone had thrown away by mistake. 7 p.m. security check. This was important. I'd patrol the borders of my territory, remark them if necessary, make sure no other dogs had moved in on my space while I rested. Territory disputes could get violent. I'd learned that early. Better to be clear about boundaries than to wake up to a fight. By 8 p.m., I'd be back in my den, tired, hopefully fed, hopefully safe for another night. I'd arrange my blanket towel, curl up as tight as possible to conserve heat, and try to sleep. Some nights I managed a few hours. Other nights, fear kept me awake. But either way, morning would come, and the routine would start again. This was my life, day after day, week after week, and slowly, terrifyingly, it started to feel normal. Day 23. That's when I learned how quickly everything can fall apart. How one mistake, one moment of distraction, can undo weeks of careful survival. I'd gotten comfortable. That was my first mistake. In a dump, comfort kills. I was scavenging near the compactor, too close, I know now, but I'd seen a fresh truck dump something good. Chicken. I could smell it. Real chicken, not scraps, not bones. Actual meat. My mouth was watering. I could practically taste it. And that desire, that hunger, it overrode my caution. I heard the hydraulic hiss. That sound the compactor makes right before it activates. I should have run immediately, but the chicken was right there, right in the danger zone. 10 seconds. I could grab it and get out in 10 seconds. That's what I told myself. I darted in, grabbed the chicken in my jaws, spun around to run, and that's when I heard it fully engage. The massive walls of the compactor starting to close, moving faster than I'd calculated. I ran, flat out, heart exploding in my chest. The walls closing, closer, closer. I jumped through the gap with maybe 2 inches to spare. I lay there shaking for 5 full minutes. The chicken in my jaws, forgotten. My whole body trembling. I'd almost died. For chicken. For food, I didn't even need that desperately. Hunger makes you stupid. Desperation makes you take risks that, on a full stomach, you'd never even consider. I ate the chicken eventually. Tasted like ash. But that close call should have made me more careful. Should have. Instead, it made me cocky. I'd beaten the compactor. I'd survived. I was getting good at this. That confidence, that's what led to day 38. Day 38, the day everything got worse. I was navigating through a pile of construction debris. Wood, nails, broken glass, rusty metal. I knew it was dangerous, but there'd been a furniture store delivery the night before, and I could smell food. Pizza, specifically. I love pizza. Used to steal crusts off the counter when no one was looking. So I went in. I was so focused on the pizza smell that I didn't see the nail. Rusty, 3 inches long, sticking straight up from a plank of wood hidden under some cardboard. I stepped on it with my right front paw. Full weight. It went straight through the pad and out the other side. The pain was unlike anything I'd ever felt. White hot. Searing. I howled. Actually howled. The kind of sound I'd heard from other dogs and hoped I'd never make. I pulled my paw off the nail and blood. There was so much blood. It pooled on the debris around me. Dark red. Too much. I limped back to my den as fast as 3 legs could carry me. Left a blood trail the whole way. Dangerous. I knew it would attract predators. But I couldn't think about that. The pain was overwhelming. I collapsed in my refrigerator and started licking the wound. It's all I knew to do. Lick it clean. Hope for the best. That night was the worst night of my life. Worse than the abandonment. Worse than the first night in the dump. The pain kept me from sleeping at all. My paw throbbed like it had its own heartbeat. And I was terrified, because I knew what happened to injured animals in a place like this. I'd seen it. They got weaker. They couldn't compete for food. They couldn't defend themselves. They died. By day 40, infection had set in. I could see red lines spreading up my leg. My paw was swollen to twice its normal size. Fever made everything feel dreamlike and distant. Couldn't hunt, could barely make it to water. I survived on whatever I could reach from my den scraps I'd stashed. Rainwater that collected in a nearby container. It wasn't enough. For 3 days I lay there, drifting in and out of consciousness, watching the sky through the opening of my den, wondering if this was it, if this was how my story ended. Not with the dramatic abandonment, not with the compactor incident, just quietly, painfully, forgotten in a refrigerator in a dump. But on day 43, something shifted. The fever broke. I woke up clear-headed for the first time in days. The paw still hurt, still looked terrible, but the red lines were fading. The swelling was down slightly. My body, against all odds, was fighting back. I was surviving. Again, dogs are survivors. It's in our DNA. Our ancestors were wolves who endured ice ages and droughts and predators. That same stubborn will to live runs through every dog, even ones who've only known soft beds and regular meals. And it was running through me. Day 45. I walked without limping for the first time. The paw wasn't healed, far from it. There was a scar that would never go away, a slight permanent limp. But I could walk, I could hunt, I could survive. And in that dump, that's all that mattered. That injury changed something in me. Before, I'd been surviving out of fear. Fear of death, fear of starvation, fear of the unknown. But now I was surviving out of spite. The dump tried to kill me. That nail should have been the end. The infection should have finished what the nail started. But I was still here, still breathing, still fighting, and that felt like a victory. I started noticing things I'd been too scared or hurt or hungry to see before, like the family of sparrows that had nested in a broken washing machine. They'd built a home there, raised babies. In this place of death and waste, they'd created life. I'd watch them sometimes, these tiny birds going about their routine, feeding their young, completely unconcerned with the apocalypse surrounding them, or the way the sunset could paint even this hellscape in shades of gold and pink. How sometimes, if you caught it at just the right angle, with the light hitting the mountains of trash just right, it could almost look beautiful. Almost. And I'd find myself appreciating it. Not happy, not content, but aware, present, alive. Day 50. I found it while scavenging through a pile of household waste. Muddy, torn, barely recognizable, but unmistakably a tennis ball. I picked it up in my jaws and something happened. Something I hadn't felt in almost 2 months. Joy, just a flicker, but it was there. I carried it to an open space between trash piles, and I played, just me, alone in a dump. I tossed the ball, chase it, bring it back, do it again. For 5 minutes, I wasn't a survivor fighting for my life. I was just a dog, playing fetch, with myself. It was ridiculous. It was pathetic. It was the most alive I'd felt since being abandoned. I kept that ball, added it to my den. Sometimes, on the really hard days, I'd take it out and just hold it in my mouth, remembering that dogs were meant for more than just survival. We were meant for play, for joy, for connection. Around day 55, the one-eyed dog came back. Remember him? The one who'd run me off from Sector 3 weeks ago? He showed up at my territory line one evening, just stood there, looking at me. I looked back. We both knew we could fight. We also both knew we were tired. So tired of fighting. He left after a few minutes. Didn't cross into my space. Didn't challenge me. Just acknowledged me. A few nights later, I heard him howling. That lonely, desperate sound that said, "I'm here. I'm still here. Is anyone else still here?" And without thinking, I howled back. 2 voices in the darkness. Two survivors telling each other, "You're not alone." It became a routine. Some nights he'd howl first. Some nights I would. But we'd always answer each other. It wasn't friendship. It wasn't a pack. But it was something. A reminder that even in hell, you don't have to be completely alone. Day 60. 2 months in the dump. I stopped counting in weeks. Started counting in moments. Moments when I found good food. Moments when the rain felt refreshing instead of punishing. Moments when I felt strong instead of scared. I was keeping track of a different kind of time now. Not days until rescue. I'd stopped believing in rescue. Days of proof that I could do this, that I was doing this. I wasn't just surviving anymore. I was living. In my own broken, scarred, limited way, I was living. I'd built a life from nothing, from abandonment and garbage and pain. And that life wasn't much, but it was mine, and nobody could take it from me. I had no idea that everything was about to change, that the next day, something would happen that would give me back what I thought I'd lost forever. Hope. Day 61 started like every other morning. I was at my position by 5:45 a.m. Stomach empty but manageable. Paw still sore but functional. Just another day. Another sunrise over garbage mountains. Another 24 hours to survive. I had no reason to think this day would be any different. 6:03 a.m. The garbage trucks arrived on schedule. I watched them dump their loads, waited for them to leave, prepared to scavenge. But then I heard it. A different engine. Smaller. Car engine. Cars didn't come to the dump. Not like this. Not to the residential waste sector. The car door opened. A woman stepped out. Young, maybe 30. She was dressed simply jeans, a t-shirt, sneakers. But it was her eyes that caught me. They were looking, searching, like she was looking for something specific. And then, they found me. I should tell you about trust. When you're a dog who's been abandoned, trust doesn't come easy. It's not like a switch you can flip. It's like a bone that's been broken even after it heals. There's always a weak spot, always a memory of the pain. This woman was human. Humans had thrown me away. Why should this one be different? I ran, ducked behind a pile of construction debris where I could watch but stay hidden. My heart was pounding, not from exertion, from fear, from that old wound of trust, aching. But she didn't chase me, didn't try to corner me, didn't do any of the things I'd learned to fear. Instead, she did something that stopped my heart. She sat down, right there in the mud and garbage, crossed her legs like she had all the time in the world, reached into a bag she was carrying, and pulled out food. Not garbage, not scraps, real dog food. I could smell it from 30 yards away. Kibble, good kibble, the kind I'd eaten in my old life. The smell triggered memories so strong they almost hurt. Kitchen floor, metal bowl, the sound of food being poured, being called good boy. She set the bowl down between us, spoke. Her voice was soft, gentle. "Hey there, buddy," she said. "I know you're scared. I would be too, but I'm not going to hurt you. Promise. I just want to help." Promises. That word. It would come to mean everything. But at that moment, it was just a word I'd heard before, a word that had been broken before. Still, there was something about her voice, something that made me want to believe. We stayed like that for an hour, her sitting, me watching, the food between us like a test, like a bridge. The sun climbed higher. She didn't move. didn't check her phone, didn't get impatient, just waited. For me, finally hunger won. It always does. I crept forward, every muscle tensed, ready to bolt. One paw, another, closer. I could see her hands now. They weren't reaching for me, weren't threatening, just resting on her knees. Open, unthreatening. 10 feet away, 5 feet, 3. I could see the food clearly now, smell it. My whole body wanted to lunge for it, but I forced myself to go slow, to be careful, to be smart, because survival had taught me rushing gets you killed. 2 feet from the bowl, I stopped, looked at her. She looked back, smiled, a real smile, not pity, not disgust at my dirty, scarred appearance, just warmth. Go ahead, she whispered. It's yours. I brought it for you. I darted forward, grabbed the bowl in my teeth, dragged it back to my safe distance, and I ate. God, I ate like I'd never eaten before. It was perfect, not moldy, not poisoned, not contaminated, just good, clean, nutritious dog food. I finished it in 30 seconds. When I looked up, she was standing, slowly, carefully, no sudden movements. She was talking again. I'll come back tomorrow, she said. Same time, with more food and water. You don't have to trust me yet, but I'll be here, I promise. There was that word again, promise. She walked back to her car, got in, started the engine, and I waited for it, the moment she'd drive off and never return. Just like before, history repeating. But as she drove away, she looked back, made eye contact, waved. I slept with that empty bowl in my den that night, licked it clean 3 times even though there was nothing left. And against every lesson I'd learned, against every wall I'd built around my heart, I hoped, just a little, that maybe she'd come back, that maybe this time would be different. Day 62. I was at our spot. I'd already started thinking of it that way by 5:30 a.m., earlier than necessary, but I couldn't help it. What if she came early? What if I missed her? What if yesterday had been real and not some hunger-induced hallucination? 6:05 a.m. The blue sedan appeared. My heart did something it hadn't done in 2 months. Jumped, not with fear, with something else, something I'd almost forgotten. Excitement. She got out of the car with 2 bags this time, set them down, sat in the same spot as yesterday, pulled out food, more of it, and a bowl of water. Clean water, not from a broken pipe, not mixed with garbage runoff, just water. She set both down and waited. I didn't wait as long this time. Yesterday's caution was still there, but hunger and thirst pushed me forward faster. I approached, took the food, but this time I didn't run quite as far back. Maybe 15 feet instead of 30, close enough that I could hear her when she spoke. That's it, she said. Good boy. You're doing so good. Good boy. Those words. I hadn't heard them in so long. Didn't realize how much I'd missed them until they washed over me like warm water. Day 63. She brought medicine. For your paw, she explained, showing me the tube. I noticed you're limping. This will help. She squeezed some onto a piece of bread, set it down. I ate it. That night, my paw hurt less than it had in weeks. Day 67. The big day. I'd been getting closer each morning. 10 feet, 8 feet, 5 feet. Today, she held the food in her hand instead of setting it down. Extended her arm, held completely still. Whenever you're ready, she whispered. No pressure. I'd forgotten what gentle touch felt like, how human hands could be soft instead of hard, could offer instead of take. I stretched my neck forward, sniffed her hand. It smelled like her soap and kindness. I took the food, gently, from her palm. Her fingers brushed my nose, just barely, and I didn't flinch, didn't pull back, because in that moment, something in me broke. Not broke like damage, broke like a dam. All the loneliness, all the fear, all the desperate need for connection that I'd been holding back. It all came flooding out. I didn't run away after eating. I stayed, right there, close enough to smell her, close enough to see the tears on her face. "Oh, buddy," she said, voice breaking. "What happened to you? Who could leave something so special?" She reached out slowly, scratched behind my ear, and I leaned into it, actually leaned into human touch. After everything, after abandonment and pain and 2 months of hell, I leaned into kindness and let myself feel it. From that day on, our morning meetings changed. She'd pet me while I ate, talk to me about her day, tell me about the animal shelter where she worked. "It's always full," she explained. "We have 40 dogs and only 30 kennels. I'm fostering 3 at home already. I wish I could just take you now." But I didn't understand all her words, but I understood the tone. She wanted to help, but she couldn't, not yet, and that was okay, because she was here, every morning, without fail. That was more than I dared hope for. Day 75, she brought a blanket, a real blanket, soft and clean and warm. "For your den," she said. "I know where you sleep. I checked to make sure you were okay one night. This should help." That night, I slept better than I had in months, wrapped in a blanket that smelled like her house, like safety, like the life I'd lost and maybe could have again. Day 80, she named me. "I can't keep calling you buddy or sweet boy," she said, laughing. "You need a name. How about Lucky? Because despite everything you're going to be, I'm going to make sure of it. Lucky." I had a name again. I was someone again. Not just a survivor. Not just a dog in a dump. Lucky. Her Lucky. And for the first time since being abandoned, I felt like maybe I deserved to be someone's. Day 91. 3 months in the dump. 30 days of knowing Sara. 30 mornings of food and kindness and hope. But when she arrived that day, I knew immediately something was wrong. Dogs can sense these things. Her shoulders were tight. Her smile was forced. She'd been crying. She sat down heavily, didn't pull out food right away, just sat there, looking at me. I walked over, no hesitation now, and pressed my head against her leg. Comfort is what we do. Even when we don't understand the problem, we comfort. She wrapped her arms around me, pulled me close, started crying. Real body-shaking sobs. I'd never been held like that, like I was the one doing the saving instead of being saved. I stayed perfectly still, let her hold on as long as she needed. "Lucky," she finally said, pulling back to look at me, holding my face in both hands. "I have to go away. There's an emergency. Another shelter, 3 hours from here. They're shutting down. Hoarding situation. 200 dogs need homes in the next week or they'll be." Her voice broke. "I have to go help. It's what I do." My heart sank. I knew what this meant. She was leaving. They always leave. I started to pull away, but she held on tighter. "No, listen to me. This is important. I tried to find someone to come feed you while I'm gone. I called everyone I know, but they're scared to come to a dump. They're busy. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. She was crying again. I could taste the salt of her tears on my fur where they fell. But Lucky, I need you to hear this. I need you to believe this. This is not like before. This is not abandonment. She took a deep breath, looked me straight in the eyes. I promise I'm coming back. It might take time, maybe 2 months, I don't know. This rescue is huge, but I will come back for you. I'm gonna get you out of here. Do you understand? I'm not leaving you. I'm coming back. You just have to wait a little longer. Promise. That word again. But this time said with such intensity, such conviction, such desperate need for me to believe. And here's the thing about trust. You can build walls to protect yourself. You can decide never to believe again. But sometimes, someone comes along who cares so much, who tries so hard, that the walls don't matter anymore. I believed her. God help me, I believed her. She held me for a long time, told me she loved me. The first time anyone had said that in months. Left extra food, extra water, kissed my head, and then she stood up, started walking to her car. I followed her, not frantically, just followed, because I wanted her to know, I heard you, I believe you, I'll wait. She turned back one last time, waved, smiled through tears. I'll be back, Lucky, promise. Just wait for me. Then she drove away, and I stood there watching until the car disappeared completely. But this time, I didn't feel abandoned. I felt hopeful. Day 92. I was at our spot at 6 a.m. She wouldn't come. I knew that. She told me she was leaving, but I went anyway, because that's what waiting means. Being there even when you know they're not coming. Keeping faith. Day 100. Still waiting. Every morning. 6 a.m. The food she left was gone. I was back to scavenging. But I was better at it now. Stronger. And I had the blanket. And the knowledge that somewhere someone was thinking about me. Working to come back. Day 120. A month since she left. Every car that drove past made my heart race. Blue sedans especially, but none of them stopped. None of them were her. Still, every morning 6 a.m. I was there, because I'd made a promise too. An unspoken one. I'll wait, no matter how long. Day 140. I won't lie, I was starting to doubt. 7 weeks is a long time. What if something happened to her? What if the rescue went wrong? What if she meant to come back but couldn't? What if this was just another abandonment wearing a prettier face? But even with the doubt, even with the fear, every morning at 6 a.m., I was at that spot. Because maybe I was stupid. Maybe I was setting myself up for heartbreak. But maybe, just maybe, she meant it. Maybe she really was coming back. Day 147. I almost didn't go that morning. I was exhausted, emotionally spent. It had been 56 days, almost 2 months. But a voice inside me, stubborn, hopeful, maybe foolish, said, "One more day. Just try one more day." So I went, sat at our spot, watched the road, expected nothing, hoped for everything. And then I heard it, that sound, that specific engine, that old blue sedan, and my world stopped. 6:03 a.m. Day 147. The blue sedan appeared on the horizon. For a moment, I thought I was hallucinating. 60+ days of hoping can do that to you, make you see things that aren't there. But the sound was real. The engine was real. And as the car got closer, she was real. She came back after 56 days, after I'd started to doubt, after every reason to give up. She came back, just like she promised. The car stopped, the door opened, and there she was, Sara, looking tired, older somehow, but smiling, crying, both. She saw me and her whole face just broke open with joy. "Lucky," she shouted, and she ran. This professional, composed woman ran toward me through garbage and mud and didn't care. And I ran too, every muscle, every ounce of strength. We ran toward each other like the dump was the most beautiful place on earth. She held me and I felt something I hadn't felt in 147 days. Safe, wanted, loved. "I told you," she kept saying through tears. "I told you I'd come back. I'm so sorry it took so long. I'm here now. I'm here." She checked me over like a doctor, examined my healing paw, my ribs showing through my fur, the new scars. "Oh, Lucky," she whispered, "you fought so hard, but you don't have to fight anymore. You're coming home. You're coming home with me. Home." The word hit me like electricity. Not the shelter, not temporary foster. Home, her home, with her. She opened the car door. I jumped in without hesitation. She got in beside me, started the engine, and as we drove away from that dump, from those 147 days of hell, I looked back one last time, at the refrigerator that had been my den, at the spot where we'd met, at the life I'd survived, and I said goodbye to it, forever. The transformation happened fast. First stop, veterinarian. Full exam. Antibiotics for lingering infections. Flea treatment. Vaccines. Weight check, I was 15 pounds underweight. The vet cried when Sara told her my story. Second stop, Sara's house. Real house, with walls and heat and soft furniture. That first night, I slept on a real bed. Her bed. She insisted. And I remember lying there, clean and fed and warm, and thinking, this is real. This is permanent. I'm not in the dump dreaming about being saved. I'm saved. I'm actually saved. The physical healing was the easy part. 6 weeks and I looked like a different dog. Shiny coat, healthy weight, bright eyes. But the emotional healing, that took longer. Learning to trust that food would always come, that I wouldn't be left again, that this safety was real and permanent. Sara never tried to adopt me out, never even mentioned it. "You're mine," she'd say. "You waited for me. Now I'm keeping you. Forever. Forever." Another promise. One I believed completely. That was 2 years ago. 2 years of morning walks and evening cuddles. 2 years of never wondering where my next meal comes from. 2 years of sleeping in a real bed, playing with real toys, being part of a real family. 2 years of knowing with absolute certainty that I am loved. My story isn't unique. Right now, today, there are thousands of dogs in dumps, on streets, in shelters, waiting for their person, waiting for someone to see them, to promise, to come back. You could be that person. You could be someone's Sara. And trust me, there is no better feeling in the world than being the reason a dog learns to trust again, than keeping a promise when every odds says you'll break it. I'm lucky, and I waited 147 days because she promised to come back. And she did. Some promises are worth keeping. Some promises change everything.